there, Riderflex Nation. Steve Urban here with more career advice and job interviewing tips for you. And as a quick reminder, if you enjoy our podcast, please remember to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes. And on today's podcast, what restaurant are you going to? Where are you taking your boss or your boss's boss? You know, they challenged you with setting the reservation, right? You had to plan it out. Well, I'm going to tie the restaurant story into a bigger message here. And that's this. Know your audience, right? Do your homework with who you're going to be meeting with. And folks, in today's world, you can look up almost anything about somebody online most of the time, right? You can find them on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. You can usually get a quick general idea of their style or their character by doing some homework. And even if you can't find them online, ask questions, right? Talk to somebody that knows them ahead of time. Get the scoop, right, about the person you're going to be meeting with. Here's a story for you. I was trying to get promoted in a job one time. I was trying to move up and was working really hard to try to get noticed. When my boss called me and he said, "Hey, look, the vice president's going to be in town. I want to make sure that we take her to dinner. So it's going to be her and my boss and me at dinner." And he's telling me, get it all set up, set the reservation, etc. Now, I had met her in passing briefly at a conference, but never really spent time with her. So didn't really know her. So she comes into Oklahoma City, which is where I was living at the time. Now, keep in mind, Oklahoma, and by the way, no offense to anybody that's from Oklahoma or lives in Oklahoma listening to this podcast, but Oklahoma was one of the states that was a little behind on some of the smoking laws where you couldn't smoke in restaurants or bars anymore. One of the last ones to kind of pass that to a certain extent in many places. Well, I made two mistakes on this reservation, okay? Number one, I set the reservation at a nice steak restaurant in downtown Oklahoma City that still allowed you to smoke in the restaurant, okay? That was number one. Keep in mind, the vice president that I was taking to dinner was from California, a little more progressive, where they had stopped smoking in restaurants way before, and she didn't smoke. So that was a problem. Number two, it was a steak restaurant. And guess what? She was vegetarian. Mistake number two, right? Mistake number three was I just didn't know how to recover from it, and I didn't do well at dinner. Also keep in mind, I never got promoted from that situation, and I don't think that VP ever liked me very much, no matter what I did. Now, is that fair, right? You're supposed to get promoted on your skill set and what you deliver at work, and maybe some of these other things aren't supposed to apply, but they do, right? Because human nature comes into play. And so what's my point of this whole podcast? I wanted to share that interesting story with you because really when you're meeting with somebody, or maybe it's a client, maybe you're trying to close a sales deal, maybe you're trying to land a job, it's an interview, or you're taking a boss out to dinner, whatever it is, do your homework, folks. And in today's world online, you should be able to know something about that person, look them up, be able to have two or three things in your back pocket that you can compliment them on or talk to them about, right? Maybe you're from Indiana and they went to Indiana University and you can talk basketball and Bobby Knight or whatever, right? Just have some information armed that you can talk to them about and be ready. And by the way, make sure you take them to the right restaurant. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day. We truly hope you find our material helpful and entertaining. And while our podcast can be heard across most platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud, you can become a supporter of this podcast by visiting our show on the platform Anchor FM. That's anchor.fm/Riderflex. You can also send your questions or suggested topics for future episodes to the email address podcast@riderflex.com or drop us a voicemail at 888-964-5876 extension 710. Visit riderflex.com to learn more about us. Thanks so much for listening, folks, and have a great day.